Well, YouTube, True Crime Terrible Site, Jackass here. We're gonna take 3 on this. And when you know the same spot that I tried doing this video last night shut me off. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. Hey, over here. Come on, bug. You're gonna make me walk over there. Hey! Goddamn dog get caught up in the fucking fire. By request, we're talking about a wrestler tonight, Gino Hernandez. I looked over this article. I hope it's the right guy. I'm sure it is, but yeah. I'm a huge wrestling fan, but lately, right, with the new wrestlers that have came out, and when I literally stopped really getting interested in wrestling was when the WWF started doing their stupid sex tales. You know, we're here to watch it, whether most of the fighting is faking, don't get me wrong, bunch of fake, but where other things are, hey, brutal, and you know damn well that you can end up getting a concussion or a broken leg, arm, bone, rib. There are some realities to this, and I'm sure a lot of wrestlers go through a lot of pain. But, back in the old days, around this guy's time, it was a little more realer than reality than you think. Of course, back when I started watching wrestling in 1982, I was in the great mists of, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, the great Ivan Putski, and Polish Power, and Bruno Sammartino was just wrapping up like a career and becoming, Jesse the Body Ventura, and all them greats, all the way back. And I mean, Roddy Piper was one of my personal favorites. I used to love that guy busting balls, man. He was funny as shit. And the list goes on of greats. But I can't say I remember this guy, but he was a great, and the Von Erichs. I used to watch them guys too at their prime. And this guy used to feud with him all the time, I guess. And I guess this guy was the creator of the haircut matches. Like Brutus the Barber Beefcake literally took on the role, I guess I read in this article, after this guy. So it's like, And like I said, I never really seen this guy. I can't remember if I remember him or not. It's tough to say if I seen him maybe once or twice wrestling, but due to the fact that, right, he's more of a pretty boy, as they called him, I probably didn't really pay no attention to him. Because he does look like a soft-spoken, don't get me wrong, he probably kicked and whooped ass like they say, but he looks more like a, ladies' man. And what happened in the story of this guy about being heavy into cocaine, don't get me wrong, I've learned about a lot of wrestlers using drugs and, of course, steroids, and, Jacksaw Jim Duggan was one that got busted for dope, smoking marijuana or whatnot, and, the list goes on of stuff. Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, all these legends, who knows what they had, hidden in dark secrets. This guy sure did, but the autopsy was done and found cocaine in his intestines and stomach. And that right there, damn well someone threw down his throat. I think this guy was rightfully murdered. For what reason? Is kind of a good question. Because they didn't say much about him having feuds with people. I mean, he did have the guy Adam, but I believe the guy Adam they speak of was his partner, and he hung around with. And Gino here was supposed to take, and literally throw hair removal in his face so he could stop wrestling for a while and be with his wife and new child they just had. I'm sure a lot of wrestlers took things, injuries to make it look like they were injured to get out, in case they did have a family or they had a real injury. But this guy, I don't know, man. This very strange. It is. And for whatever, but it does sound fishy. But the Adam guy was, cleared of being any involvement of this guy's murder, because I believe he was like the last one to see him. But it does kind of sound like someone that knew him or, just didn't like him. And for whatever reason. But they did say he was a pretty boy. And people like Rick Rude being the ladies' man type thing where he'd be always shaking his rump. I mean, this is what kind of reminds me of. And you know what? Really, honestly, I don't think them kind of players should be in the Wrestling Federation, or as they now call WWE. Back then, I called it what it was, WWF. But the pretty boys, right? It's kind of difficult to say, because when you got men like to flaunt themselves to women and they piss off their boyfriend, say so, to use a good example like Macho Man Randy Savage and the late great Miss Elizabeth. That man would always get fired up when someone go talking, her. But there's a lot of real feuds that were placed back in wrestling, and this one is kind of tough. I mean, whoever wanted him dead, right, threw all the cocaine through his system. What was the motive? That's where it's up in the air in this case. There's no good motive to have against this guy, against anybody. Besides the fact that, right, someone didn't like him because he maybe hit on a couple girls back in the day, but I can't really come up with a good motive, as they call it today, of course, to have this guy killed. I mean, I'd have to look into it more, but so far what I get out of this story is the Adam guy. In the feuds within them wrestlers of the cutting the hair, and I don't know, it's just some crazy stuff. It's all crazy when you're in the Wrestling Federation, and especially when it involves drugs. Unless he pissed off a dealer, owed a lot of money, and them drug dealers, man, they don't F around. You owe money and you owe big time. You're going to get yourself handed to you back in them days, and even today, I mean, whether or not they take him and pile him up with cocaine through his system just to make it look like an overdose. I think that's what this was, an overdose. I don't know about the depression thing or suicide thing on this, because it is tough to tell. But whatever the motive was for this guy to get pumped with friggin' cocaine, there's got to be a lot of explanations for that you can think about. Your mind will wander crazy. And it is every goddamn story I get into, though. I mean, sorry, someone got offended when I keep saying goddamn, but sorry about that. But every story I've been getting into that has no or has a suspect and no motive, or has a motive and no suspect. It's just, what the you can't win. And when people want people dead, they're gonna have them dead, man. That's it. They're gonna put them and lay them to rest. And this guy, man, is just, without the right, proper, um, you know, evidence, not a lot of evidence was put into this. All it says is, yeah, he was found dead in a motel room with cocaine in his stomach, but I know rightfully that cocaine don't go straight to your goddamn gut. It's got to be put in there, like with fluids, down your throat with the water, and you suck it up. And, it's just impossible. And when there's not a lot of evidence, and obviously police and law enforcement back then obviously didn't care, because just like any other case closed. It was a suicide. A lot of these cases, man, just like that other kid I just did the story about the other day, there was the witness, oh, he wanted to commit suicide, so bang. Don't do a damn, an investigation right there and just go on one person's word just because they were having a feud. You don't listen to just one person's word. You need to goddamn do an investigation that's got to be done thoroughly with any case. And who cares what people say? Oh, he was a suicidal. Or he was a homicidal maniac and he needed to be killed. You know what? Until the facts and proof is present of any of this, there always needs to be a rightful investigation. And for them to just look at this as probably a drug overdose because of the cocaine in his system. And they never put it forth, and they never did a thorough to finish investigation on this. I'll put the link in there if you want to read the whole story, but like I say, man, these cases, every time I read one and it comes up like this, the motive without the suspect, or the suspect and no motive. Either or, you're just left to sit there with your head scratching and, sitting in the room trying to think about this. A good fart gives you a concussion in the room you're sitting in. You're just sitting there farting and stinking yourself out because you want to solve the case and you're looking at all this evidence. But you come to the conclusion there's nothing there that's even relevant enough to get this case off the ground and look at it anymore. Oh my God, it's insane. So I don't know what this guy did. I don't know where he was at in his head at that time and mind. All I know is they just say he was found dead and the guy that was with him or whatever last seen him was just cleared and, he just died of cocaine. I mean, I'm going to look into updates on this, but I'm not going to get nothing. But, I don't know, it's just crazy how the justice system works. The law works. When you got the crooked cops or the good guys doing naughty things, that's right, people. You're not going to get nowhere in life. Hey, don't you even start Ted. Tug. Thinking of that commercial, Ted the dog tugging the truck. But if you're going to get these stories and, not a thorough investigation, it's sad in the end. Don't get me wrong, if this guy did do something wrong or something stupid, and deserve to do something or whatever, but you have to have the info to even go about saying anything bad about that. So until I figure out, or if it ever gets figured out, can't leave no bad words on this case, of course, and we need to give them, like anybody else, because it's unsolved and it's unknown, a moment of silence. Of course, the public ain't gonna allow the silence, but yeah, I'm gonna look a little bit more into what I can see into this, if there was any updates. But if not, hey, that's it. But at least to give a guy a shout out. This guy, rightful place in history if he did not do nothing wrong. Just a simple, got a little money in his pocket and did a little dumb couple things. Who doesn't? Can't help that in life. But until the next video, be safe, take care, always beware. And like I said, by request, Gino Hernandez.